It's the month of March, and this month, Streaming Things is brought to you by Chester Copperpot, Trey Barrera, Conrad, Luke and Sarah, Dave Malfara, Rabbit Dog in a Barbie Car, Jose Ruben Cruz Rodriguez, Thomas Alexander, Emmy, Joe Velez, Valerie, Stanton Valentino, Aaron Layton, Crystal Trujillo, John Collins Goes, Andrew Gray, Jen Robinson, Kate, Chloe Richardson, Kalisha Reeves, Kiki Newton, Kevin Strother, Jeanette Murphy, Casey McCain, and Enza.
Welcome back. My name is Chris.
My name's Madison.
And I'm Steve.
And this is Streaming Things with a very special episode for you. Over on the Patreon feed, probably right now, not later this week.
Right now, as you're listening.
Each month, the patrons are allowed to vote on a special movie. And they chose Twister from 1996.
Classic.
So over on Patreon, we're going to be doing our full scene-by-scene, play-by-play breakdown full of corny gags. That's our shtick on Twister, which is a movie that we all love from back in the day. But we actually got Sean Whalen, who starred in the movie, with all kinds of fun tidbits about making the film and his experience with that, to come in and talk to us. So that's what you're about to hear. Through digital airwaves, of course. He was not in our studio.
Yeah, he was kind enough to join us over Zoom, and we got to talk to him for a good half hour, 40 minutes about his experience on the show and also his experience doing milk commercials.
Yeah, his origin is fascinating. Got Milk. What an archive, right? At the Got Milk era.
Yeah, he got in the Got Milk game when it was good.
He did.
Yeah, the ground level, you'd say.
A commercial directed by Michael Bay.
Straight from the teat.
Of Bay himself.
Yeah.
My favorite part of that commercial is when the milk explodes.
Explodes in his face.
And a transformer jumps out. It says,
the milk.
Autobots, get milk.
Bumblebee. We all know that milk does a body good. The Decepticons are trying to stop it.
With oat milk.
Got milk.
That bullshit oat milk. Bumblebee, we have to stop it now.
Bumblebee tuna. But Sean is a great guy. I met him through TikTok, and I've helped promote this new project that he's working on. And he's just the sweetest guy in the world. Very freely giving of his knowledge about the industry and his talent and advice. And you don't meet a lot of people like that. Sean's super cool. So I was honored to have him on the show today. I hope you guys enjoy our conversation with Sean. I think that you will. And we wish we just had more time with him, but he's a busy guy. And again, really, I think it was a banger. I think you should check out the Twister episode if you don't have access. As Tom Hanks from Toy Story 1 would say, get some.
Is that what he would say in Toy Story 1?
Yeah, when he's talking about it, if you don't have your moving buddy, if you don't have one, get one.
Get one.
One.
I gotcha.
I just changed the line a little bit. I don't think he ever said, get some. Maybe to Bo Peep. I'm not sure.
Maybe. Or to himself.
Hey,
get some, Woody. Get some.
What happens in Andy's playroom stays in Andy's playroom. Am I right?
I don't like that sentence. Not one bit.
Ruining my childhood here.
That's a very Sid thing to say, Steve.
Well, I did play with my toys.
Mm-hmm.
But we thank you so much, Sean, for joining us, because that was so cool just to be able to get to talk to him for a little bit, even if it was just for a tiny bit. We learned so many things.
We did.
So without further ado, enjoy Sean Whalen, everybody. Sean, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
We are honored. All big fans of a lot of your work. We mentioned it earlier, but I mean, you're in all kinds of stuff. It all started with People Under the Stairs, Wes Craven, right? Is that where it started?
Well, I had a couple of guest stars before that, but that was my first film I ever did. It's like my third or fourth gig, but it was my first film I ever did.
And people probably recognize you from all kinds of stuff. It's Always Sunny, like you're all over the place. But we're here to talk about Twister. From 1996. And when I was watching it last night, there's a couple of things that I never knew. Because this is one of my favorite movies, as I've talked about since I was a kid. I watched it dozens and dozens of times as a kid. And I'm so dumb. I was looking at the director for a long time. I thought Jan was a woman. And it's probably not even how you pronounce it. It's probably like Jan or something. How do you pronounce that? The director's name? Jan. Okay. Didn't know Jan also did Speed, another one of my childhood favorites. And I didn't know Michael Crichton was a co-writer. Did you know this, Steve?
I didn't know this at all. In fact, like I was actually shocked that there were so many people involved that you've heard of. I mean, Steven Spielberg, Michael Crichton, Kathleen Kennedy as producers. These are names that are titans in the industry. And I for whatever reason, I didn't know they were involved with this film.
Yeah. So kudos to that. Didn't know that. That's like Steve said, these are all titans that you were working with in the late 90s here. Watching this movie for the nth time last night, I was struck with the sheer dearth of talent. Like, of course, Philip Seymour Hoffman and Bill Paxton, rest in peace. Like it was very sad watching them. But what was your experience like just broadly, Sean? Like, I mean, you're a young guy, you're surrounded by all these guys running from tornadoes.
It goes back to the Got Milk commercial, which is a big Aaron Burr Got Milk commercial that I did back in 93. And it was very popular. It ran all the time in California.
That's the one with the peanut butter, right?
Yes, it's a very famous ad. I'm a guy directed by Michael Bay, who is downing a peanut butter sandwich. His whole house is Aaron Burr and The Duel and Alexander Hamilton, the whole thing. And they said, we're going to call a random caller for $10,000. Who shot Alexander Hamilton? And my phone rings and I'm ready. And it's my whole life's work. And I don't have any milk. And so I go, I can't say it. And then they keep going, what? No, try again. And I'm going, and I'm trying to pour milk and I don't have any. And I get all frustrated. And then they say, we're sorry, we'll go to our next caller. And I just go, and I got it because I guess they said everyone else, they didn't have an ending. And I was the only one that improvised it. Like, my life is a waste of time where everyone else got really mad and threw stuff. And so it was very popular. It was only running in LA, only running in California. And when I went to an acting class, like a year into the commercial, a girl who worked at Amblin said, your life might change soon. And I said, why? She goes, because Steven Spielberg likes your commercial. And he always uses people, young actors that he sees and stuff. And I said, how do you know that? She goes, I work at Amblin Entertainment. So, I thought, oh, wow. Okay. So this was towards the end of 93. And just a little over a year later, like 14, 15 months later, I had the audition in February for Twister. And it was a Steven Spielberg executive produced. They were the most ridiculous sides in the world. They were just like, look over there, hurry. It's going over. It's changing course. It's a big one. There was nothing to an audition. So there was it's not like you're going to go, that acting was genius. He really connected to that material.
Nailed it.
I mean? Like,
he's crushing it.
So it felt like,
he really made me want to look over there. Yeah.
And when I found out Steven Spielberg executive produced, and the lady right in front of me, the funniest part was there was a new Batman. I was in Batman Returns, but by that time there was a new Batman. I think it was the first Joel Schumacher one. But they were like, yeah, and he's in the new Batman. And I almost went, no, not the new one. And I go, duh.
The good one.
Up. Yeah. Wait. Let me deheat myself.
Yeah.
Let me just throw cold water on my heat. And then she said, literally turned to him and she goes, he's very hot right now in front of me. And I was like, okay. So then I left and I got it like 3 days later. And so it was obvious that Steven Spielberg did want to use me. You know what I mean? There's no way they went, oh, that reading was superb. So. And
that's
then when
such
I
a
got
wild
there,
story from today's perspective. Like, I'm sorry to interrupt, but I'm trying to picture.
Please.
Well, I got Steven Spielberg loved me in the Michael Bay directed Got Milk commercial. It's such a wild 2023 thing,
He hadn't done a feature yet, Michael Bay.
Yeah, he was doing music videos back then, right? Or maybe just commercials.
Yeah,
but
music videos and commercials.
It was before he blew anything up.
I just like the idea of somebody just looking around like Sean Whalen is so hot right now. That's like that classic, what was it, Zoolander? Will Ferrell, like he's so hot right now, but it's Sean, you're so hot right now.
That's his actual life.
Yeah, I mean that was so good. Like that's the thing is, They say like an actor has a really good 5 years, and I think I had like a good 10. They say, there's if you're an actor for a long time, there's going to be like 5 years that are really popping, at least, And I think the 90s were mine so far. I'm ready to rock again.
Let's get a second pop, man.
But anyway,
I think Milk's coming back in a big way, so that'll help.
There it is.
Oh, yeah.
Well, here's the main thing is it worked. It 100% worked. It's milk consumption went up 25% because of that ad campaign.
Yeah, no, for sure. My friend still talks about that commercial. We were just talking about it a couple of months ago. Like that was brought up. That's why I remembered it so vividly, is because he explained it to me. Andy.
Andy.
Yeah, like scene by scene. He walked me through it. Big fan.
Have you ever seen it?
Yeah, I have.
On YouTube.
Yeah, I have, but it was like he had seen it many times,
Well, it's the people go like, "Oh, you made that commercial," and I go, 100% wrong. Like I walked in there, the writing was great. The way Michael Bay shot it was amazing, and to me, the art direction and the set design was so amazing. The way they had that loft with the smoke and where was I in this weird industrial loft somewhere that I made my house a whole, Aaron Burrell. It was so cool. And I just was one of the pieces, you know what I mean? But I feel like there was so much more to it going in that was so creative and interesting. And I literally thought I wasn't going to get it anyway, because I thought, well, isn't it sadder? I've always thought this. Isn't it sadder if it was a guy's whole life work? So I thought they were going to go with an older guy, 100%. I thought they'd go with someone who looks like they're in their 60s or something. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, like
so the joke
this was his
land
moment.
Harder.
Yeah. Well, it landed.
Yeah, the joke would. Go ahead.
Everybody loved it. It landed. You're the guy.
Yeah. So anyway, so when I got there was definitely some insecurity because I had just seen Spanking the Monkey, and there was Jeremy Davies sitting next to me in the van.
Yeah.
I loved that movie. And I thought he was brilliant in it. I knew Alan. I wasn't a huge, I wasn't like, oh my God, Ferris Bueller, I was a little older than that with the core group. I was in my 20s when it came out. And then, but I knew exactly who he was. And then I didn't really know Phil. I didn't know a lot of people. I knew Helen from her TV show. And I was like, I had a crush on her. I thought she was gorgeous and very cool.
I think a lot of people did, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, I still definitely do.
Yeah. That's so funny. I was tweeting it last night.
If you didn't love her and Mad About You, you're insane. She was adorable, know? And then I do remember early on, and Phil and I became good friends after this. Like we were really good friends. But early on, I was like, yeah, I was in a milk commercial. It was really good. And I go, yeah, I think I know that. And he goes, well, that's not really acting. It's kind of like a bit. And I went, oh, ouch. But he totally apologized for that later on.
You tried doing it with peanut butter.
Yeah.
It's hard to act with all that in your mouth.
Yeah, for sure.
Shakespeare. Peanut butter's hard.
Well, how was it like being in Twister? I mean, you're like working with such great talent in that film. I mean, everybody literally in that movie has gone on to have incredible careers, including yourself. And it's what was it like on the ground during production during this movie with all this talent surrounding you?
Well, first, like I said, the reason I succeeded in this business, and I tell my students this, I was ignorant. I was not savvy. And that's why I did well, because I just had fun. I didn't sit there and go, man, if I don't get this could really lead to this. Or blah, blah, blah. I didn't do any of that. And I was like, ooh, these people, and did it I didn't know anybody really that much. I mean, I knew Alan was in Ferris Bueller. That's it. I didn't really know that many people. And I was feeling definitely a little overwhelmed knowing that I was there from a commercial and some of these other people were coming. Well, Jeremy Davies just did Spanking the Monkey, where he's the lead in a Sundance lauded film.
And you were the guy from Aliens, you were with the guy from Aliens. That had to be like a...
Yeah, but I didn't even realize that was the same guy.
That's awesome.
I can't picture that. It's so funny. And I guess Philip Seymour Hoffman probably was nobody then too. So yeah, you were just like a bunch of guys.
He had only done Scent of a Woman. He was hot on Scent of a Woman.
Mm-hmm.
That was his big like breakout that people go, who is this kid?
And then I don't know if you guys know this, but the guy who played Belzer is the writer and director of Tar.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the Best Picture nominated film.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Which character was that?
They called him Belzer. His name's Tim Lewis, but his name was
Belzer.
He was what was his role?
His big line, and people love it. He goes, "That's not a moon, that's a space station."
Yeah.
He was kind of like that
Gotcha.
But it was perfectly cast. Like you guys all did so well at like your own little idiosyncratic niches. Like when I was watching it last night again, there's a line that Alan Ruck has when Aunt Meg is being rescued from the house. And she's like, "I'll drive myself." And he's like, just the way he delivers that line, "Honey, your car's in a tree around the corner." Like it's such an Alan thing. I love this movie so much. Anyway.
Well, I think that the key is, the weird thing was when I got on TikTok, no one was talking about the tornadoes. Of course, everyone would say there's a cow, whatever. But mostly everyone's quoting our lines. So this is my theory years later. I got in the car with Alan and I just got out of an acting class and I had my notebook of all my notes and my character. And I go, who are we to each other? And Alan, and it sounds crappy when I say it, but he said it in a loving way. He said, "How about Sean and Alan in a truck?" And I went, well, and he goes, "Listen, look, it was a money grab. It was Speed had done well. ILM guys wanted a challenge because they just did dinosaurs. And they go, what's harder than a dinosaur? A tornado. They just knew Speed, and they knew if they did a tornado movie, it would have to be like a roller coaster. So Jan de Bont was perfect for that.
Yeah.
And Crichton had always done some, science out of control, obviously Jurassic Park and all that other stuff. So they went to him. There was no script when we got there, like that was super tangible.
Wow.
We came up with so many things. Like it was more about the business of it than it was the creativity. So when the ILM stuff, they'd come down and show us the things and they looked insane. So we just sat there and went, no one's coming to see Jurassic Park because they're huge Laura Dern fans, right?
Right.
They're going to see the dinosaurs. And so Alan was like, dude, we're the Goonies looking up in the sky and commenting on the dinosaurs. That's it. And I think we all felt that way. So it made us completely relax and just be fun with each other because we knew it wasn't about us. So what's odd is years later, everybody talks about us and not the tornado.
Yeah, it worked. I mean, there's so many. It's funny you say there was no script when you got there because there's some zingers in this movie that work. You know what I mean? Almost 30 years later, they do. Like the writing.
Okay, so Jeff Nathanson was our on-net set writer. He wrote "Catch Me If You Can."
Love that movie.
He wrote. He's worked with a lot of people. He was hired to write Speed 2, unfortunately, but he's worked with. He wrote the Grayskull, the Indiana Jones. He's a very big writer, but he was on set and they would have him write lines because when that in the script it says Bill pulls up into the storm chasers getting ready. That's it. So that whole opening stuff, he came over, he goes, "You guys in charge of the directions, right?" He goes, "Okay, so you say something about the maps, and then you just, here's your lines, you just say that." And me and Alan looked at it, we go, "Oh, okay. And we just did the fold the maps thing. And I, more than you're the milk guy, I get, "Hey, fold the maps," more than anything now. And that was literally like 10 seconds on one day.
Yeah.
That I didn't even know when people started saying that on TikTok. I go, "Fold what maps?" And they were like,
I don't remember if you blacked out. Yeah. I don't remember you said that.
I don't even remember any of that. And they're like, "Oh, Bob's Road." Someone sent me a sign that said Bob's Road. And I go, I have no idea what this is. Like, I don't know.
That is a great
because they
line,
were all thrown at us like that. And then Jan would be in a truck and he goes, okay, talk about this, and we'd be like, blah, 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 like just kind of going and stuff. So And so, the script was forming, we get new pages every day and stuff, but like just that whole opening section, they had to introduce us in completely different ways. Uh-huh. And so, I think that was it. And so a lot of people also say food, and me and Phil are going like this. Yeah. We did that all the time. We hung out on set all the time. And offset and went antiquing. So it was me, Joey Slotnick, Phil, and Jeremy Davies. We'd all go out together antiquing and hang out. And
that's so fun.
We would always do this to each other all the time. And if you see at the end, Joey Slotnick and Jeremy Davies doing rock, paper, scissors, we did that all the time.
Yeah, when he's laying on the ground at the end.
Yeah, so we basically...
Yeah, I was wondering what that was.
We just brought ourselves, like the stuff that we would do.
That's awesome. It's definitely, you can definitely read it on camera. And I think that's why everybody kind of falls in love with this movie, is because you can see that genuine connection you guys had on and off screen.
Yeah. Well, because we just said, you know what, we're not creating like this huge arc and these, pivotal, it's just, let's just hang out and do our thing. I still held on to my little backstory and I did my work and still had a point of view that I locked into as Sanders. I had a young wife. I was still in graduate, just ended college. I was probably just in the middle of college, like 19 or 20. Like I had my whole backstory and my attitude towards Rabbit and the whole thing. So I still had that stuff, but I just kind of relaxed and played with it, kept it simple. And that's what I think everybody kind of liked.
It's such a, I don't know if you saw the quote on the Don't Worry, Darling press tour with, I know I'm going way around here, but I think it was Harry Styles. He's in an interview and, people make fun of him for this, but it's kind of a thing now where they were like, so what was it like? He's like, the favorite thing I like about the movie is that it's a movie, and it's a soundbite people make fun of now, but that's what I was thinking about watching this last night. I was like, this is just a fucking movie. Like, you know what I mean? The score, it's got this like Jerry Bruckheimer movie score for no reason, but it works. Like when they're chasing the tornado and it's just like dun 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 dun, like it's Pirates of the Caribbean or something.
That's exactly what I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything just kind of, and like everybody's clever and you've got the Jonas, like this douchebag villains and this crazy hippie cast of like cool cats you want to hang out with. Like the sexual energy between Helen Hunt and Bill Paxton is great. Like everything just fits in this perfect puzzle. And like you said, it was just a cash grab maybe, but they had all these dynamite elements to just make the moviest fucking movie. Mm-hmm.
And I think that's why they chose the young talent that they did, because they thought, okay, we'll take care of that. I mean, it's like with Vince Vaughn in the Jurassic Park 2 or 3 or whatever. He loved swingers. And so he put Vince Vaughn in one of the Jurassic Parks. He used to do that all the time.
Vince Vaughn is in one of the Jurassic Parks, Steve?
Yeah, he's in the Lost World Jurassic Park, the second sequel, or the first sequel.
Yeah.
From 97.
I haven't seen 2 in so long.
Yeah, he's the Greenpeace guy.
But that's what Spielberg used to do. He was known for that. So he never used stars. And so when he started to use, I think the first star he worked with, I think, was Tom Hanks in Saving Private Ryan. Mm. But it's because of Jeremy Davies on the set of Twister, and that he was doing a deal while there with his wife, Kate Capshaw, to be in this independent movie that Jeremy Davies did that I loved, but it didn't really get that much press or anything. But that's how Spielberg got to know Jeremy better and put him in Saving Private Ryan.
It must be so awesome to be Spielberg. You're just like watching TV at home in your underwear and you're like,
oh, who's
that guy? That's my next. Call him.
Call that guy.
Bring him to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Like he just has a butler.
It's crazy. And I just did a TikTok about the whole story about how he tried to put me in Men in Black, which was an amazing part, but it got written off like it.
I was going to say, was it Vincent D'Onofrio's part? Because I could see you doing that.
Oh, it was Tommy Lee Jones' assistant as a tired alien, but I moved at the speed of light. So he would pour a cup of coffee, and Will Smith would be like, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" And I would be like, "Shh!" And I had the cup, and I'm like, "Would you like cream with that?" And I'd be right there at an instant. He like had a great thing with checking in the aliens, really deadpan, going. really do that? Like it was so great. I mean, it was the best part. Like I read it going, this is going to change my career. But closed the deal on a Friday and wrote it out over the weekend. So Monday was
missed opportunity.
So, oh my God. And then
well, they made a huge mistake because you were hot then.
I know.
The accountant said you already paid him, so you got to put him in. So they just threw me in the background in one little scene. But after that, I didn't get any anointing from Spielberg. He gave me a couple shots, and unfortunately, they didn't pan out as big. But I definitely got heat from being in Twister. I mean, for the next 4 or 5 years, it just the work was easy peasy because they knew me from Twister. So. Those are the things you always look for, those moments that you can milk for several years, and then you can find the next one.
Milk.
I see what you did there.
You literally milked it, man.
Get it.
Yeah.
I'd heard a lot about how the filming of Twister could be difficult at times. There was a story I read where there was like special lamps they used to create, I guess it was to create the green look of the storm coming, but it like burned their eyes
for a few days.
Yeah, it was. Do you have a experience where like it was just a really rough shoot, or was it or because you weren't Bill Paxton and Helen Hunt in the action that often? You were mostly in the safety of the truck with Alan. Did you have any wild stories like that?
Yeah, in the hail scene. So when it's hailing and we're all running around trying to set stuff up in the hail.
Yeah.
The guy, I mean, it's kind of like the carnies where, you go up to a state fair and the guy's like, you're going to be safe. Don't worry. You're like, okay. Same guy running the ice machine. He goes, they're all small pieces. Don't worry about it. So I'm on a van trying to hit like a solar, radio, a sonar, whatever, dish. And I'm like, up on there and going, do. And poor Jamie Gertz was breastfeeding, and she had huge pieces of ice just hitting her right in the chest. And like, it was it was brutal. And we're getting rained on and hail's being shot on us. And so I was up there going like that. And I literally remember looking up and just going, oh, that's way too big. And it just went, woo, and just knocked me on the head. And I went, whoa. And I fell off the top of the van. I was dizzy. I was laying on the ground and I was getting hit. And I just dove in the van and curled up. And it was going, and then they all cut. They came over. There was blood coming down my head. Luckily, I didn't need stitches. And I put it on. And it's because it's such a huge moving machine. It's not like, hold on, Sean's got a cut. You know what I mean? They're like, all right, put him on. You okay? We need to take him to the doctor? No, we don't know. Okay, great.
Speed,
patch him up. And then, we're going to move on to the next thing.
Check the gate.
You don't have time.
Rub some
and then
dirt
I
on
was
it.
seriously, when I saw the movie, I go, really? I bled for this movie, literally, and you don't tend to shoot me? What a great shot. Like me falling off the thing.
Yeah, they didn't use the tape.
It didn't even make the cut.
That's got to be the worst.
It wasn't exciting enough.
Yeah. We were too busy.
I was bitter about that.
Bill
I was
and
like,
Helen.
come on, man.
Oh, no.
I thought you would have said it was in the scene. I actually got a DM last night about how it was this guy's favorite scene because I was talking about it on Twitter. But you guys are like hiding in the oil change station, when the tornado actually hits them at the drive-in.
Yes.
It's such a wild scene. It's so funny to me because Jamie Gertz's character is freaking out as she should be. Like watching this as an adult the whole time, I'm like, poor Melissa.
I know. Poor
Right?
Melissa.
They're all treating her like shit. And like Bill Paxton, the whole time, he's like, it's okay. I'm like, dude, a car just flew through the wall.
Right.
She is reacting adequately.
Yeah.
You are not,
Yeah. 100%.
But that looked like a rough shoot. Like they were just like, we're going to throw a bunch of shit at you. Lay in the hole,
Well, a lot of it was like the thing that hits Preacher. That was all CGI.
Right. Great scene.
But the only thing, honestly, was when you'd finish a take on that, everybody would go, just tons of dust and debris. Because they were blowing stuff at us while we were in there. But yeah, that wasn't as bad as the hail, but it was pretty bad.
Right.
And we were towards the end and everyone was tired and cranky. A couple of fist fights almost broke out between a couple of actors. So
Oh, no.
There was definitely some actors who did not get along with other actors.
Mhm.
Put it that way.
Well, we're not going to ask you for the tea. We're not that kind of show.
No.
You can volunteer tea.
No. But I'm
If you want to share, you can.
It was, but listen, it's different styles of, it's a craft, right?
Yeah.
And it's just like saying, oh, a doctor. Well, no, there's a pediatrician. There's a this, there's that. The same as actors is that there's people who go work outside, like Tom Hanks will famously say, I worked outside in until I got to Philadelphia, and then I started working inside out. Actors will know what I mean. Like you feel the emotion. So, there's people who say, move, be it, and then it will slowly seep into you. And then the other people say, if you live it and believe it, then you'll just see the physicality on the outside. So it's two different ways. So there's all different ways to handle your career. Are you more of an artist? Are you more of a business person? There's so many tangents, and, there's strong personalities in that little pit. So, that had definitive ideas on how they approach things. So, but for the most part, I mean, the super fun story on that last week is we had a lot of per diem, and, meaning that's the money we get, and we couldn't spend it because we were shooting all night, sleeping all day. So there's so we all just had these big wads of cash. And so I remember us sitting there like betting on who could take a pebble and who could hit it on a pole near the gas station and all this stuff. And it kept on going up. And it was Todd Field who always messed with me. He always messed with me in a fun, like older brother way. He would go, I bet you Sean Whalen won't dance naked on a truck. And I said, yeah, I won't. And I said, my wife doesn't want me to do that. And then he said, no, but you might if the price is right. So he starts getting people, and it went up to like $1,200. And I remember
that's a lot of money.
That is a lot of money.
I don't think my wife will mind $1,200 cash, which of course she didn't. She's like, well, did you get paid? But I remember and they were shooting something over here, and the crew was over there. So I had to get up on a van for dance naked for 30 seconds. The only thing I could keep on was my shoes, so I wouldn't slip and fall.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So
yeah, totally.
I jumped up on the van. I danced around, and I just remember the crew, like they were so busy, and they went, hey, and the crew's like doing stuff over here. They're like, and they go like this. They go, all right, let's get. They're like, we have a massive budget movie to make, and the skinny guy that's naked, endowed like an Irishman, is not going to make us
cue the hail, right?
Right.
Wild.
So that
stuff.
was super fun. Like that was super bonding, things like that, and it was great. Like Todd was like, you're really funny. Like you're going to do well in comedy in the future. And I think he's brilliant. All the movies he's done, I've liked.
Yeah. Tar was one of my favorite movies last year. It's an incredible movie.
Yeah. Now see, that is, what I got, Chris, but you and I fall in this category. They said super pretentious.
Could be.
All my friends were like, so pretentious. It was so pretentious. And I go, it's the world of high art.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be.
I'm okay with that.
It's supposed to be pretentious.
I've never been accused of not being a douchebag. I'm all right with that. I'm resigned to it now.
Well, that's what I said. I said, look, I go, if I was if I tasted the finest wines around the world, then I will probably have a more sophisticated palate than you do.
Sure.
And that's not trying to be insulting. That's just trying to say that I'm at a level where I can appreciate that movie without it being just simply going, they're, the shots, the way he shot it, her performance. It was amazing.
Yeah. It's one of those movies, I think you can watch it 4 or 5 times and get something different out of it like that,
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But again, amazing breadth of talent in this movie. Philip Seymour Hoffman is near and dear to me as somebody who's in recovery. And he was my favorite actor for a long time. It's such a fun movie to watch and revisit. And I'm sure being on set was a blast. But speaking of being on set, you're about to be on set again soon. Before we get you to, before you have to get out of here, just tell us what you're working on these days. Let everybody know what to look forward to and how they can help.
Yeah. So I am doing a creature feature horror comedy, a term that my brilliant producer, Felissa Rose, came up with, which encapsulates it perfectly. It's a creature feature horror comedy, I guess, where a lonely guy that used to be a child actor collects all the leftover socks from the dryer And when he and he wipes all his bodily fluids on him. And when he gets bullied one day, he cries in the pile of socks, and the tear of pain that it comes out of his eye lands on the sock creature, and the sock creature turns into a little monster who will avenge all of Vegas's issues. And that's the character name. And instead of Little Shop of Horrors, where Seymour discovers it and is horrified, my character goes, this makes me feel a little better, actually, getting me out of my depression, and to have someone support me in that odd sock monster way. So it's fun, it's silly, it's a blast. And I had a lot of different producers look at it. They all liked the script. They all wanted to do it, but ultimately they all wanted to change it and make it, palatable for everybody. But I'm not making it for everybody. I'm making it for people, that don't think, in a different level, it would be, like Tar being pretentious. You know what I mean? If we made a movie like that, it would be for those people. Or this is for people who've appreciated my comedy, appreciated my horror, and who love my favorite cheesy movie is Sleepaway Camp, Mac and Me. Like, I love those. Tammy and the T-Rex. I love those. They're cheesy. They're bad cheesy. I'm not going out to make a bad movie at all. But I want a cult movie. My wife loves Rocky Horror Picture Show. I came in People Under the Stairs, which tons of people love, but that's a cult movie. So I'm trying to build a community, because the horror fans that love their movies love them. Like when I did the Texas Chainsaw Massacre game, I had no idea the love and adoration for the Texas Chainsaw Massacre original. Then I finally saw it and I went, okay, I get it, and I'm making a fun movie. You're out with friends, you have an adult gummy, an adult beverage, whatever, or you're just with your family ready to laugh, and you sit down and you watch that movie, and then you go tell your friends about it, and then they tell their friends. It's not going to be because you read a billboard on Sunset Boulevard. It's going to be because you told your friends how great and fun this is. And that's what I'm trying to make, is a cult movie. So I'd have to sit down with my potential investors, and they're like, so how big do you think the returns are? And I go, I don't know, but it'll be word of mouth, but it'll stick around. A cult movie doesn't make a lot of money in first weekend and drop off. It just sticks around for a long time. Mm-hmm. And that's what I'm trying to make. So
it's got legs, baby.
And so we finished our campaign officially, but we did so well that it's called Trending. And on Trending, you can still contribute to the movie. So you can go to Indiegogo.com and be a part of cinematic history. And why do I say that? On TikTok, people all the time I was on that said, you should be in bigger movies. You should have bigger parts. You should, why aren't you in bigger things? And now I took care of that. I'm the lead in it. I'm directing it. I co-wrote it and I'm producing it. So instead of people just saying that, people actually showed up and donated. And that was really nice. So it's Indiegogo.com. And you just go to Crust and you can be a part of movie history. Also, that's movie history, but also Alan Ruck and I, speaking of Twister, it's the first time we've acted together since Twister. We haven't acted together since 95. So it's the first time in, 28 years that we've been together on screen. So that's really fun. And me and Rebecca Kennedy, who's also like a horror character actress that plays creepy like I do. First time we've ever been love interests. It's cinematic history in a new way. So you can be a part of it. Just get a special thanks and, $25 and your name's on the movie for the rest of eternity.
Yeah, there's all kinds of cool stuff on there. And I want to let I've read the script. It's a super fun movie. Like, it's going to be a blast. I'm excited for it. Sean, you're an amazing talent. I can't wait to see what you do with that film. Hopefully I can make it out to set. That'd be awesome.
I'd love that.
And I'm just honored that you came on our little podcast here. I'm sure everybody had a blast listening to you. Our little room's expiring and stuff. And I want to let you get back to fancy man stuff, whatever you guys do over there with your milk and whatnot. But I'm always honored to talk to you. Thank you for coming out, man. It's been a blast. Thank you.
Thank you guys. And you said last night, oh, you won't be proud of me. I said, I'm always proud if you do any writing.
Yeah, Sean Tech checks in with me on my screenplay. You did some writing today? And I'm like, a little bit. Nice. Couple dumb words. We real support. I appreciate that, man. It means a lot to me.
Anything's better than nothing.
So. That's right. Well, thank you so much.
All right, have a great day, guys. Thanks,
Sean.
You. Oh, it's Sniper Tone here, and I've been instructed by the boys via radio to read you the brand new patrons in the month of March. These are people who have an extra set of mirth in their hearts, and they are truly the last line of defense between streaming things and a total economic collapse. So in the Try Before Deny section, I want to thank Luke and Sarah, Conrad, and Trey Barrera. In the Marty B VIP section, we're thanking Tamara. Tony's going to mispronounce this one, that's for sure. Jir Latanowitz. Oh, I mispronounced that just like I misfire my rifle. Brianna Bernard, we thank you. Elizabeth Palmer, Josh Stitch, and John Ricker. Oh, thank you all so much. In the chocolate pudding producer sections, we have Lair Gillis, Maha Axholt. I probably missed that one too. Thank you to Jordan C., Kelly Shartner, Natalie Cleland, Sonny. Oh, it has not been sunny here in quite some time. Thank you to Wayne Yopst. Oh, I think the world has passed Tony by. Tony does not know what that word is. Yopst. Thank you to Shotzi, Brock Borick, Alicia Takahashi, Gabe, Quentin Vassa, Teresa Schwemmer, and Rob Westendorf. And last but not least, we have our friends Don't Lie to thank. Those friends are Taj Allah and Melissa Worcester. You know what? Old Tone used to shoot a Worcester back in his day. Or was it a Winchester? I don't know. I'm Sniper Tone and my mind is frail. I got to get back to protecting Kansas City. What? It's already on fire. Oh, Tony, you done it again.